We are live.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So, yes, welcome to Donna and Cheryl TV. But today, this isn't Donna.
The new Donna.
Donna has literally taken like 20 years off herself.
Yeah.
And this isn't
This
Donna's
is me.
mom. Yeah. So, this is Holly. So, for those of you who don't know, Holly is my daughter. How old are you? 22? 22.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and Holly actually works for Donna and I. So, a lot of the lovely social media things that you see, Holly's designed. So it's lovely actually. So Donna's going off to a lovely cottage in Yorkshire. And yeah, this week I'm going to be joined by different people every week. And we just thought it would be nice to start the week off with a nice little live from me and Holly. So, thank you, Tina. Wendy, welcome, have fun. So yes, so we are going to be talking today about like the whole theme for this week's about friendships, fun, relationships, and what we were saying. Oh, Holly's, Anne's just saying you beautiful.
Oh, thanks, Anne.
We're just saying that the most, oh God, the relationship that you have with your children, like your children are mirror images of you. This is why your children, you've got such an emotional connection to your children, and also how you can get really wound up by your children. It's like one extreme to the other, really wound up, really emotional. It's like the biggest thing. And when you look at your children, they're just a reflection of you. So if you didn't like what you see,
it's your fault.
It is. So, thank you, everyone. But it's funny. Do you think we look like each other? Because
we don't think we do well. The hair, obviously.
Yeah, but we don't think like we'll look like each other. But I think when you know us together, it's more our mannerisms and stuff, isn't it?
Definitely.
Because I've got green eyes and yours are like a bluey green, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people say we do, but we can't see it. But I think our mannerisms and our personalities.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, I mean, we've been on a journey, haven't we? Because like really from being 6 months old, it was just me and you, wasn't it? Yeah. And then I had a relationship, didn't I, for a couple of years, and then we were living over where we used to live for like 7 years on our own. So for a long time, it was just me and you. And when I met Graham, my husband, you were still sleeping in my bed.
Oh yeah, I was actually.
She was 11.
Yeah.
So she would always go to bed. And then when I would wake up the next day, you were always in the bed.
I used to creep in about 2 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah. So Holly always wanted to have a boyfriend, a relationship. Then obviously when you were 11 and then one came along and then you had to get out of the bed to let Graham in. No. Wasn't really plain sailing, was it, from that point? Not. But it is something and I know we'll have people who have been single parents and are single parents in terms of that journey of it is complicated and difficult when you're wanting to introduce a step parent or someone else into the mix. Because when you were little, obviously I was then playing the mum and dad role, wasn't I? So I was being the mum, going to work, working hard, getting promoted, travelling, like my mum and dad helped out loads, didn't they? And then trying to do it all, which we tried to do, hanging off the rafters. I was like up a height a lot of the time, but then trying to be mum and dad, but then trying to provide a nice home so you didn't make up for the fact of not having your we've got Dan on the line today. Hi. Making up for the fact that your dad wasn't there, I was trying to do it both. So I did provide a lot, I would say. Probably over-provided, basically. Spoiled?
A little bit, just a tad. Yeah.
But it's that balance, and any of you who can resonate with this, please tell us in the comments. Wendy. Yeah. So me and Wendy have a lot of syncs.
Yeah, tough masculine energy imbalance. Yeah,
because you just do go. Like if you think how am I now compared to what I used to be when you were growing up?
Chilled.
Yeah. Like we would never have called us chilled, would we?
No, I don't think that's the word I would use. No, definitely not. No.
Like I was literally up a height, wasn't I?
I think,
work hard, this, that, the other, boom, 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 go.
Yeah.
And like, believe it or not, like, and I just thought that was me. Like I had a really temper, didn't I? I could literally go from 0 to 100. Fiery is what I would
Mhm.
call myself.
Nice.
But actually now I'm totally chilled out.
yeah, you're not like that literally at all.
But I think then you turned teenage years
Yeah.
and you became, well, you've always been fiery.
a little bit, yeah.
But you became more fiery.
Mhm.
And then I became more chilled out because
yeah.
I went on
then
the
there was a balance with that then. Yeah.
because I did my NLP, didn't I? And so then I did loads of developments and I became more chilled
Yeah.
whilst you were going through your fiery years.
Yeah.
But now you're chilled.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's only 22, but you've kind of come through that phase, the angry phase,
yeah,
feeling angry.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then you're much more chilled now. And so, well, Dan
So-
might not agree, but
With other people, maybe not Dan, but
Dan's Holly's partner who's on the line, he might not agree that you're chilled out.
no,
But-
with everyone else, that's probably more in us now than it was before. 100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you are much calmer, I would say,
Yeah, I would say so.
than I
definitely.
was when I was your age.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like when I was Holly's age, I was like, oh, going out, partying, this, that, and the other, and you're just like the opposite, aren't you?
Don't drink.
She doesn't
Don't
drink.
go out.
She has a home, a nice dog.
yeah.
You're different to how I was,
Yeah.
which is a nice reflection. I like that
it is,
reflection.
yeah. That's a good one. Oh, it's Dan.
Yeah, Dan's not agreeing with
the chilled part.
the chill part. But it is interesting, and I'd love to know from you guys, because this is about like what lessons have do your children teach you when you look at your kids? Because like back in the day when you were going through your years of being a teenager, being bullied,
Yeah.
like you were
Times,
bullied when you
yeah.
were at school, and then Holly actually left our first senior school.
Mhm.
I took her out after the first year. It was an all-girls school. Didn't go down well.
No.
And
very
you were,
happy.
Holly's always been like, you always speak up for yourself. So if she
Mhm.
thinks anything's unfair, or you'll
You'll know
verbalise
about
it.
it. Yeah. yeah.
Maybe it's in those days not in the right way.
No, not in this. No, definitely
So
not.
basically, whenever there was any trouble at school, you were always in the middle.
Mhm. Yeah.
I spent a lot of
was
time in the
in the school
headmistress'
office. really
Me and
bad.
Mrs. Todd, the primary school teacher, I used to be sat with a box and
Every
she-
week.
this was in the little school.
It was in primary.
But
wasn't
yes, you've always had a thing about fairness and telling people, you verbalising
it
your
is,
opinion. But actually, on a serious point, you did get bullied, didn't you, in your first
Yes.
school, which did impact you.
it? Mhm.
So you left that school and went to another school, and then, and this is a lot how we talk about fitting in, like
Yeah.
you did have to then not change yourself, but you had to,
Fit in, change sort of to fit in type
Yeah.
of thing, to something new.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you had been through that experience of being bullied, so then it was like going to a new school with a lot of people you knew, but you had to behave in a certain way, didn't you, to fit in with the crowd,
Yeah.
which wasn't you.
No, yeah, that's totally agree with that. Yeah.
And I think as teens, for those of you with teenagers, when you don't know who you are yet, because I didn't until I was in my 30s,
Yeah.
and you go through one experience and then you go to another one, you're still trying to find yourself, and then
You just get lost in it sometimes.
yeah, and then so you thought that was you.
Yeah, it's because you don't know yourself, so you think different things
Yeah.
until you find out who you actually are. So
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And Holly used to do sprinting, and you kind of then were wanting to thinking you were missing out with people drinking and stuff, weren't you? And went through that phase, and now she doesn't drink.
No.
But it was like you didn't know who you were, so you were trying different things
Yeah,
out.
that's yeah.
Weren't
Definitely. Yeah.
And now, no, you're in your early 20s, which is amazing that you do actually really know yourself at that
Yeah,
young age. Because I
exactly,
was in my
yeah.
late 30s, early 40s before I found out who I was. So that
Yeah.
is credit to you.
Yeah.
That's,
thank
and
you.
again, you know, we're talking about parents, credit to me.
Definitely.
But it is interesting going on the journey. I'll just read some of these comments
Yes.
out. So, teens to parents is tough. I'm the one in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, you would definitely that.
Honestly, we hear you, don't you?
Yeah.
It used to be Holly, Graham,
Cheryl.
and then it would be like, you're not taking my side. You're not
Not
taking
taking-
my
yeah.
side. And then because I had not been that good with discipline, then when Graham
Yeah.
came on the scene, ex-military,
Didn't take to kind
discipline,
of do it.
but then he got the blame, didn't he? He was
Yeah.
trying to bring in more discipline and teach you,
And then he was the bad guy.
but then he was the bad guy for doing this, and it was all his fault.
Yeah, it was.
And then you used to say that it wasn't me, it was him, like it was his idea, because you didn't
Yeah.
understand, because you were still
I know
growing
you
up,
well,
and
exactly.
you didn't have your real, whatever we'll call them,
Mhm.
sperm donor
yeah. I'd say
there,
that, yeah.
who's adding any value, so you weren't used to it, so then bringing a step
Yeah,
parent
it's totally
into the
new.
mix
Mhm.
was challenging. We probably only just found our balance in the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, like the dynamics, don't they, the change.
Definitely.
But like going through that, you didn't know what you were doing.
No,
Do you know,
exactly.
like
you just think that's right, but you don't know, and then looking back, you think, like
it was your beliefs that you'd formed, though, hadn't you?
Exactly.
And then Wendy got to rage somewhere. I'm lucky Dan sounds like Holly Bethley's taking all the best bits and growing into them. Yes,
thank you.
She has. She absolutely has. And actually, what Graham will say is, like, he met when you were 11, going into your teenage difficult years at school. He didn't get the cutesy.
No, he didn't. No, just got
girl. He got the rage
monster
version.
The little monster.
The rage version, but actually then he's like, oh my god, like Holly's like really like you, and I'm like, I know.
Now I am.
We're very similar in that way now. You have to just go through all of that.
I know.
I was worse than you. That's my litmus test, is me. What I was like with my mum. Holly was nowhere near that point. So to me, I was like, it's not really that bad, because I was even worse.
You were.
So my daughter's taught me to be far kinder about mental health. Yes, because Wendy's daughter suffers from mental health and anxiety. So I know that you've been learning, Wendy, haven't you, through this process about you get shit done, masculine, get over it. You bought me a cup with get over it on, because that's what you said. I used to say,
get over it.
Build a bridge and get over it, because I used to say that all the time. Would I do that now? No, but I didn't know what I knew now, because you can't just get over it.
Exactly.
So so that's interesting. Mel, this is so inspiring for a single parent. And then Anne, it's about supporting our children through the stages. Yes. And I think obviously I've developed through the stages, so I would feel I'm a better parent now than I was 25 when I had you.
Yeah.
You know, I'd gone from going out partying to then all of a sudden having a baby. I don't fucking know what I was doing.
Exactly.
I can swear now because she's 22.
Yeah.
But I've evolved. So even when I look back at the years, your angry years, and I look back now and think, well, would I now know how I am now? Would I have dealt with it the same way? Probably not.
No, it's just all about the different stages, isn't it? You just have to go through it. And
So you're always learning as a child.
And also a parent.
And also a parent. So it is, it's very interesting. So it resonated with me. I was bullied at school, haven't changed the school, but looking back, I ended up staying me, but ended up having no friends. So my self-worth and confidence still working on age of 42.
That's me. Definitely does affect you.
It's the same with you, wasn't it? Like your worthiness levels.
Yeah, definitely.
And like sometimes you do have suffered from anxiety as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do get that. Yeah.
Because a lot of it, and it did stem back from that bullied, being isolated. Like we all want to belong, don't we?
And fit into a place.
Yeah. But I think you were a bit the same as Sonka, where you now have a smaller friendship circle, but it's people you can trust.
Yeah, I went from wanting like thinking I needed a massive circle of friends to knowing that just a few is nice. You don't need loads, just a select few that you can really trust.
Yeah, because Holly was always the one that stood up for everyone.
Yeah.
And she would like put herself on the line and get into trouble from the teachers because she was standing up for what she believed in. She was standing up for a friend, and then you didn't get that back.
No.
Did you?
I still continue to do, because I thought that was the right thing, but then looking back.
Yeah. But that was your values.
I know, exactly, yeah.
That's who you are as a person, which is a really great trait to have.
Yeah.
But then that damaged, like you couldn't understand why nobody else would do that back for you, because that wasn't their values.
Yeah, exactly.
But like as kids, we're all just trying to find a place.
I know, literally.
Get through school.
Yeah.
Get through the pressure of exams, finding out who we are. Like it's tough.
Which
is why when Donna and I, in the future, we will have a charity foundation where we'll be working with teens.
Yeah.
Be involved, where we'd literally be helping teenagers from
a younger age. So it would be so much easier if you knew all this stuff at a young age, and why
of course it would, because like it's that whole thing of worthiness, like Sonka saying, and your confidence, like having that, we know it should be on the school agenda, it isn't, but having that literally being taught in schools, like working on your mindset, wouldn't have the need for some of the anxieties, some of the CAMS, mental health, some of all the other accesses that we have out there, which then impact us into our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the whole of our lives, because we haven't got the tools to deal with it. So I know Donna and I work a lot with women, but we're so passionate about in the future is working with kids, basically, like teens, that because I was the same. I was fitting at school about being different, so I did exactly the same thing. Probably I didn't get bullied because I had this really, you wouldn't dare. I developed this really hard exterior. Like if you looked at this, you thought I was going to smash your face in. So I didn't get bullied because I was protecting the fact that I was thinking I was going to get bullied because I was a different colour to everyone else. So I went the other way. I had this hard exterior so that nobody dared
even
mess with this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was all still the same thing, trying to fit in.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
our confidence, our self-worth gets impacted by it, doesn't it? So
definitely.
And if you think when you were going through all of this, not knowing who you were, I still didn't.
Yeah,
because I was still trying.
You were still young and you didn't know.
Still
so
trying
exactly.
to find myself. So
Yeah.
I'll just say we've got some amazing comments. Life now is so much more complicated for children than it was for us.
Yeah,
and now my mum always says that, doesn't she? Like
she does, yeah,
in those
simpler.
days, none of this.
Not social media. That's one of the biggest things.
I mean, at one point when you were in St Anthony's, somebody actually started a Facebook thread saying, Holly's surname was different. If you hate Holly, like this post.
Yeah, that's the type of thing I got. Yeah, so
Didn't
a lot of it stems from social media, sort of keyboard warriors. That's what we call them. Where,
but at the time, imagine that.
Looking back,
somebody Facebook would only just kind of come out like if you hate someone, like this post. Like it's just, and now we know that says more about that girl.
Yeah, but at the time
it's like, I really want to smash the face. I mean, we'll laugh now, but it's not. It's awful. It is. It's and society's different, and culture's different, and expectations is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, just going and playing out in the school and having jam and bread and all that. It's just all. And then as a child, you want what they've got. Because you see it on social media, so you think, well, why can't I have that?
Know, exactly, yeah.
And as elders, we want to then say, but when we grew up, you didn't have that, but that's not your reference.
No, because we don't know that, so
it doesn't help you because that's not reality now. So you don't know what we're talking about. So I know as parents, you try to get your kids into your model of the world and what you've experienced, but how can you? Because you weren't alive then.
I know.
So it is very interesting. But we've got some. I don't know, some of the comments I've got up, and I don't know how to get them back, but Dan, amazing idea. Holly would have great impact with the charity.
Yeah.
Thank you. My kids are far more exposed than I've ever been, although I'm more able to see from a different perspective. I have 8 children. Wow. Ranging from 24 to 2 years. I don't know how you are, but my God, I'm finding I'm still learning new things for teens to toddlers. Absolutely. Amazing. And I know that I'm going to be an absolute amazing gran.
Yeah.
When I already am the fur baby.
Yeah.
When the actual children, I know I will because I'm so much more. And I think that's for all the grands out there. You get your second chance.
You definitely
to right the things that you did wrong with your kids, don't
100%.
you? And every day I was worried about my son, but I wonder if my worries aren't helping learn. It is, isn't it? It's trying to have give them the space to learn themselves. We always say it about Holly, you'll always do because you wouldn't do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, basically,
so
what anyone said.
She's going to learn the hard way,
and I did, unfortunately. But
by experiencing it, because
rather than just listen at the time, which would have made it easier. No, not the route I took. So
you wanted to find it your own way.
Yeah.
Came home to safety. Now you cannot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Kids can be brutal with each other, I know, but that we now know because they're feeling insecure and they don't know their role and they're trying to find their space, so that's why they're behaving like that. But as a kid on the receiving end of it, you don't. I mean, you on the last day of your school in St Anthony's, somebody assaulted you, didn't there? There was a massive crowd of people standing around.
Yeah,
like that was, I think, like it creates PTSD. Like I'm using the word now, but it's like a flashback of having this thing happen. It was just. I had to get the police and everything involved, and you never went back. I took you out to school. I was like, and the school were appalling in the way they handled it. They were appalling. So it just was the whole experience. But now we can call it character building.
Yeah, definitely.
Building
Shape
resistance.
The person I am now.
Exactly.
All them experiences.
Exactly. Why does this happen for me? We have to. That's what we have to do, and it builds your resilience levels, doesn't it? My daughter-in-laws can't believe what they do for me, but not them. I said because you are there, ma'am. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So what's the biggest life lessons? I think what's the biggest life lessons? I know it's a bit longer today, but we'll go with it. What's the biggest life lessons that you learned from your children? St Anthony's doesn't sound very certainly. Yeah.
No, definitely wasn't.
No, but it was the best. I mean, it was one of the best sports of the academia-wise. it
was
had
gonna be
really
the
good
best.
results. But yeah, if
Not
you
on
could
the other hand.
survive, if you could survive
All
all
the
of the other
kindness.
things, yeah, you got on better with lads, didn't you?
Yeah, because I just think with girls, it's just obviously very bitchy and stuff. So, and
Mhm.
I just don't take well to that. So I generally did get on better with lads. So
Exactly. So going to a school with mixed hormone levels
Mhm.
was better for you,
Yeah,
wasn't
than
it?
just all girls.
I'm in the midst of teen and pre-teen years, Joe. Yeah, learning every day, knowing when to support and step back. Yeah,
Just
and
listen.
boundaries. And I think for me, as a learning point, boundaries.
Really important.
But kids like boundaries, even though they rebel against them. At the time, it's really
Puts them in
important
good stead. Yeah, definitely.
for your worth and your confidence. I think kids have to have boundaries,
Yeah.
even though we're like, oh well, just this time and this, that, and the other.
I know.
And da-da-da. It doesn't help, does
No,
it?
it doesn't.
When you don't know where the line or the
Mhm.
boundaries are.
Exactly.
So that's definitely a lesson for me. Would be
Boundaries.
have better boundaries in place with your children
From the start,
from
and then
the
we just
start.
know that's the way it goes.
Exactly.
From the start, and then they're not all over.
because they don't know any different.
Yeah.
But I think you're really good with boundaries now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like for being a young adult.
Yeah, no, I am. You need them.
Just in terms of what you think's okay and what isn't okay, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
My son experienced a similar post with his friend. He seemed okay by it. I was devastated. They could say such hurtful things. I know, and the podcast that we did that hasn't come out yet. When the podcast recorded, this lady was impacted by a comment a boy said for school for the whole of her life, and that podcast is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. Just a throwaway comment
that people don't think is going to affect you. That's why you need to think about what before you speak.
Exactly, and then it's like impacted how she thought about herself for like. Basically up until like her 30s and 40s. Mel, my daughter's always telling me to chill out and take deep breaths. I love the fact she doesn't see the point in getting wound up.
Yeah.
Good.
So she's teaching you a lesson there.
Exactly. But that is good. More chilled out.
Yeah.
My daughter is so good at holding me to account. Yes, we know. Love that. But that is amazing. But again, you have taught them. They are seeing something in you, aren't they? Because how do you learn?
Exactly.
How do you know how to do that? So amazing. Oh, well, this has been nice, hasn't it? We'll have to get Holly on again.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
We did do it when we were in the Soul System, but it was like a couple of years ago, wasn't it? So yes, and anyone watch on playback, drop it in the feed. What is it that you have learned? What's your biggest lesson so far from your children as well? And my daughter-in-law keeps telling her daughter, which she takes on notice, I just have to look kind, but she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, but what I'm going to do is after this, we'll drop the link in for, I don't know, for any of you who didn't see Nadia from the Tranquil Treehouse, she did a live in the Soul System about parenting, which is just a really great, it's on YouTube, it's had loads of views. So we're going to drop the link in all the platforms after this. If you haven't seen it, watch it, because that's what she does for a living. She works with children of all ages. Be kind, yeah. My daughter constantly tells me to take my headphones. Yes. Holly used to say to me, I used to try on my coaching techniques that you were literally a toddler. Like she used to turn around and go, Mum, I don't think you're being a very good parent or your parental responsibility. Like I used to try and use coaching on her and she would just throw back my face for being like a toddler. That's not very good parent skills. I'd be like, probably is true, but I'm not going to obviously accept that of you this time.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, this, that, and the other. But it was like, you started like playing that back to us from being like a toddler. So lovely. Thank you.
Jo.
Well, we've enjoyed it as well. So thank you very much. And yes, hopefully the weather's going to be improved because it's rainy out here.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're joined by somebody I used to work with. And we're going to be talking about fun. And wearing that fun mask and building on a little bit about an experience that we went on together, Dave. So he's going to be here tomorrow, same time, 12:30. But we'll drop the links in for the YouTube video. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we've been loving the interaction today. So yes, we're going to go and have some lunch now. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.